Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Hannah Conkey, founder and CEO of MindPilot, a neuroscience-led advisory and coaching company that helps leaders and organizations think, feel, and be better. Drawing on her background as a globally recognized neuroscience, people, and business strategist, Hannah partners with executives and teams to sharpen decision-making, reduce burnout, and design brain-smart, biology-aligned environments and cultures that unlock sustainable performance and human well-being. Hannah, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks very much, Zach, for having me today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great episode, a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background though. So before MindPilot, can you walk us through what were you doing and what was really your inspiration to get into this space?
So before MindPilot, I worked in corporate businesses for most of my career. I started off in banking and finance, and then I always had a very strong interest in psychology, human behavior, neuroscience, and just sort of understanding how people work, what drives them, and obviously the environment and world that we live in. And I was very fortunate to start off my career in banking and finance, which is actually quite similar to psychology in many ways, working with different clients and understanding their goals and what they're wanting to achieve both now and longer term. And then that progressed into working and learning organizational design, development, behavior, and leadership development. So for the last 20 years, I worked in leading large-scale organizational transformation, organizational design, and learning and development roles. And I also had a business on the side that I'd set up for a little while, which was working in health and fitness. So after working for many years with a lot of executives and leaders in many different organizations, one of the things that I noticed was that people would work very hard on their jobs, but often end up neglecting themselves. So it was a good opportunity to focus on bringing both of those together.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And do you still have the wellness company on the side?
So I don't have the wellness company on the side anymore. However, I have integrated it into MindPilot.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'd love to ask about MindPilot today. Can you walk us through the work you guys are doing? Who are you doing it with? Everything like that.
Sure. Thank you. I set up MindPilot because I really, after all the years working in different organizations and with individuals and businesses, could see the opportunity to help people take more of a science-based approach to how we structure the workplace, how we design people and business strategies, leadership development, and really helping people think, feel, and be their best wherever they go and whatever they do. So the work that we do is really taking a neuroscience-based approach to human, business, and digital intelligence. So when people understand how the brain works and how our bodies work and how everything that we experience through our sensory system impacts the way that we think, feel, and perform, it creates a really unique opportunity for us to work with people to be quite intentional about the way that they live, the way that they create the systems in their environment, but also looking at, key strategies for, the way that people eat, the way that they sleep, the way that they show up with their families, with their colleagues, with the way they lead and manage their businesses, and the impact that they want to have. So we do everything from designing people strategies, business strategies, and workplaces. So we have an architect that works in our team, and then we partner with design and construction teams because we know that the physical environment that we work in shapes the way that we think and the way that we're able to focus and perform and be creative, etc. So we work to create sort of holistic solutions for both people and businesses, including, which is very exciting for us, with the rapid acceleration in the neurotech space. So even being able to design strategies where founders and CEOs and leaders and anyone really can now get access to key neurotech solutions to help inform the way that we do things, but obviously not just look at it from a medical or clinical perspective around degenerative health related, performance, but really helping people optimize their performance and well-being through some of these solutions as well.
I love it. I love to ask about the design part. You know, when
Sure.
we think of businesses, your typical business, we think of just cubicles going on for miles, right? And it's just depressing, right? So
Yes.
I'd love to ask, walk us through kind of the design you guys do, why, maybe you do some things that will obviously positively impact the employees, make them more happy to come to work, things like that. Could you walk us through the basics of that?
Sure. So when we look at the built environment or the physical environment that we work in, and I know that many people now work from home or work from cafes or work in multiple different locations, but depending on the type of environment that we're in, it directly shapes the way that we think and the way that we feel when we're in a place. And so what we look at is particularly in a workplace, we'll look at the business strategy, the organizational values. We'll look at how the type of work that they do and how they want to bring that to life, including the culture. So, for example, where an organization's really got a strong focus around innovation or, teamwork, collaboration, when we think about how much daylight people get access to in a workplace, that has a direct impact on our energy levels, on how well we sleep, on our overall health and well-being. The height of the ceilings has an impact on, creative thinking, innovation, or innovative type work as opposed to task-focused work. The greenery has an impact on, oxygen levels, and oxygen levels impact how well we're able to think. So we look at all of these different factors around oxygen levels, around colours, shapes, around opportunities for social and collaborative interactions, and also as we see a lot happening where people are identifying with neurodiverse needs, we want to create neuro-inclusive environments as well that give people choice. So depending on the type of work that they're looking to do throughout the day, that they can pick up and move and work in different locations and different spaces, depending on the type of work that they want to do, and try and align some of the workflow and work design to our natural circadian rhythms and ultradian rhythms as well to optimize brain function and peak performance and energy levels throughout the day.
I love that. That is so needed. Like I alluded to, right? You think of your cubicles, those fake artificial lights that are above. And, health studies are coming out that just sitting under those lights all day it's not healthy for us. It
No, not at all.
throws off so many of our hormones, our regulations, whatever it is. So, I mean, I love the work you guys are doing. How long? I think you said my plan's been around for 15 years. Was that right?
My pod's been around since last February, so a little
Okay.
bit over a year and a half, or coming up to 2 years.
Okay.
So I did
Got it.
have the other business for a number of years, which was Physique Dynamics, but now
Got it.
we've integrated it all. Yeah, so a bit over a year and a half.
Okay. No, I love it. And I think it fits with the time, right? Our attitude towards health is changing. So have you seen a lot of these corporations, they're really taking on the new health and wellness kind of world that we're living in?
Yeah, I'm finding I think now, one of the really great things is I think a lot of the things that we've known intuitively for a long time, we can now measure. We can show the impact on the brain, on cognitive performance, on health, on well-being at a cellular molecular level. We can really see and we can measure that. And I think particularly coming out of COVID, a lot of organizations have experienced similar challenges. I think our ability to focus now is is increasingly a challenge both at an individual and organizational level. So I think organizations are recognizing when we look at things like psychological, psychosocial safety, well-being, performance, being able to integrate that as well with digital technology. I think a lot of organizations are recognizing the importance of it. And what I'm loving is we're really moving away from the traditional fruit bowl and having the nice activities and the yoga classes to really being able to go into an organization and say, okay, here's how we can look at your workplace design. look at your culture, look at your strategy, look at where you're wanting to go, and collate some really key data and metrics at an individual and organizational level, and then introduce and integrate some of these, neuroscience based strategies to then show organizations and people how they can design their work, design their day, and design for their well-being and performance optimization. And I think not just does that help the individuals feel better while they're at work, it helps them perform better when they go home and sleep better. Everything has a flow-on effect. So I think organizations are really getting the value of that as well.
Love it. Treat the person as a whole, right? The work will be
Yes.
better. Outside of work will be better. Everything's better. Why would we not want
Totally.
that? Right?
Yeah, totally.
I love it. Look into the back end of the business for a second. How are these corporations currently finding you guys to work with you?
We've been very fortunate that we've had a lot of people come directly to us through work that we've done. So often, how people will come to us is either generally referred by somebody else. So perhaps the CEO has done some work with us individually, and then talked about some of the impacts of that for them as a CEO and what that's meant for them personally and for their business. And then other people will come to us and say, "Well, this is great. What could you do for our business, or how could you integrate some of these strategies for our leadership teams?" So we
Yeah.
do have a lot of people, I guess, see some of the work that we do through LinkedIn in particular, but generally we've been doing a lot of work around the world, different conferences and running different programs, and have a number of partners that we've established, particularly in the neurotech space and consulting space. So often people will come to us through those channels. And again, I think just being able to see that we can take what's perhaps not been as easily as accessible through neurotech and workplace design and make it quite mainstream for businesses to easily access and integrate into the way that they work without needing to spend a huge amount of money, but being able to see there's an immediate return on investment with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you guys mostly working with organizations in Australia right now, or are you working globally?
Globally. We are doing a lot of work with companies in Australia. I think what has been great, I think particularly in the UK and the US, I found a lot of people are reaching out directly to us, seeing that you know these are particular areas of interest, and I think they like the work that we're doing, and maybe a little bit more familiar with some of the work that we're doing. I think in Australia, some of it's still a little bit of an emerging market. So there's still a little bit more work, I think, that we've had to do to influence and create some of the awareness in our space with what we're doing, taking it away from, again, some of the um, more health related into, corporate business solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned you have an architect on staff. I spent some time on your website. You have a few other employees with you. Something that a lot of founders struggle with is expanding the team, right? No
Yeah.
one's going to love your baby as much as you do. So I'm curious, how did you go about finding the people you're working with and expanding the team?
It's a great question. As I'm sure most founders will appreciate, it's particularly in the early stages where you're planning and you're growing, and absolutely love it is your baby, and you want it to be successful and uh, perhaps involved in everything. So for me, it was about being really clear on the type of capability that we were looking for and the values and alignment with the people that I was going to be working with. So having a really clear sense of shared purpose, values. The people that I've been able to find are absolutely incredible, and I think they're, not just their background and their depth of expertise, but also who they are as individuals and people, and just having this really great alignment. I think we've been able to build a really strong team and sense of. I think we all have some, shared. They've all had their own businesses, and I think just having this sense of shared purpose, shared commitment, and why we're doing what we're doing, which is really aligned to having a positive impact and creating something that's for the greater good, that we can actually see that there's
Mhm.
both a benefit for individuals but also organizations. And so I think that alignment piece has been really key for us.
Yeah, not easy to do, but it sounds like you've
No.
done it. So big
So
congratulations
far,
to you
so good.
there.
Thank
Love it.
you.
Love it. Looking forward to the future a little bit. Let's say the next 1 to 2 years. Are there any specific goals you've set for yourself in the business you're looking to achieve?
Yes, the the really key area of interest for me and for the business is where I think we can add the most value and have a really big impact is again in this neurotech space. So the key thing, really key focus area for me is working with organizations and building these people and business strategies that we can really help them see how to integrate the technology into ways of working and performance optimization. There's a lot of focus on AI, and everybody talks about AI, and I think we forget that our brains are the most incredible operating system that we have. And so, if we can help people understand the way the brain works and reprogram our brains and then leverage the other supporting systems that we have around us, like AI, like neurotech, we can align all of this with business strategy and create some really great outcomes. I see that a lot of businesses tend to focus on one thing at a time. So we've got a human challenge over here. So let's focus on leadership or culture or engagement. And then we've got an AI challenge or a growth challenge. I think when we can present some of this really meaningful data back to businesses and help them see how they can use it, and then design their strategies and have a holistic integrated approach that is measurable and that is impactful, that's really the area that I'm looking to focus in on, because I think,
Hmm.
you know, just about everyone that I speak to, a lot of people are experiencing the same type of challenges. So whether it's around sleep, whether it's around, focus, productivity, budget constraints, all of these different factors. And so being able to look at an individual level what some of those opportunities are and then how we can address them and then scale that much more broadly to achieve some of the key business strategies, that's exciting for me.
Yeah, there's so much impact to be made. That's for sure.
Yeah,
A lot to be done
yeah,
out there. I,
definitely.
I love it. Hannah, where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
LinkedIn or Instagram, probably the two best.
Instagram.
Otherwise, feel free to reach out through our website as well.
Love it. Both LinkedIn and Instagram, is that just Hannah Conkey?
Yes.
Perfect. Love it, Hannah. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you so much, Zach. I really appreciate it. It's been great to chat with you today.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of the Founders Feature. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Hannah on her Instagram and LinkedIn at Hannah Conkey, and her website and social media links will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.